What's up, guys? Next up we got Rubick. This is a particularly interesting hero because of his ult. So his ult is basically to steal any spell that's been casted last by any enemy hero. It can be something, you know, small as some type of a slow, or not special like that, to stuns, hexes. It can be big stuff like Enigma's ult. It can be some more fun stuff like Punch Hook, and pretty much everything. Yeah, it can be Tide's ult, for example. That can be a pretty big one. So yeah, a lot of fun can be had from this one. Also, what is summoned Shaker. So when you steal the spell, he kind of casts it immediately. So Shaker has a kind of nasty delay when he casts Fissure. So you can see it takes some time for him to drop the whole thing, right? But if I steal that, there, I kind of cast it immediately, as you can see. The spell just goes immediately off, right? There's no big over the shoulder whole animation. Ruby just kind of drops it immediately, right? So another benefit for this, you get the immediate cast. There's no delays. It drops it as soon as the animation starts, right? So a couple of items then that kind of go special with Arcane Supremacy, and one of those is Etherlands. This gives you cast range. Supremacy also gives you cast range, but also a spell amplification. Kind of with these and this one, you kind of extend your cast range double, right? And there's also a talent if the game goes that long on 25, 40% for stolen spells. So you can see they get buffed a lot. There's also 25% cooldown on stolen spells. And when you have stuff like this, let's actually buff this to the max. You can see like how far I can go and still steal a spell from the guy, right? So this kind of the distance. So if it's already there, I don't have to risk really anything, you know. Usually heroes will be somewhere like here. If you would try to reach somebody with spell, even with Otherlands, you'd probably have to be somewhere like here, but Rubick is all the way there, and I can still steal anything, right? So it kind of goes with the whole team. It also kind of solves your mana issues. It is a bit of a spammy hero, especially because you can always steal. You can see cooldown goes 4 seconds later on, but even the first one is only 20 seconds. So you can kind of steal the spell, cast the spell, see another one, also steal the spell, cast it, and you know, that is the fun stuff that Rubick does. Now, with the other lines, you can do, you know, the old trick, get the boots. Once you're done with the consumables and stuff, you got any null talismans or wands. Just get the energy booster, play with arcane boots until you farm the second part for this, which is void stone. Just get the recipe and disenchant the boots, unlock the energy booster, and they will combine nicely into this, right? So you're kind of done with that, and you know, it goes with the whole team. And not only for stealing spells, for casting spells as well, right? There's some spells that have like a shorter cast range, and this is gonna help a lot with that. So once you're left kind of with that, the boots, I would say probably go for tranquil boots. When we're talking about boots, you know, be completely fine with mana and cast range, but also get something for health, so you don't have to buy consumables, and be you know, careful a lot just because your health is kind of low or they harass you on the lane. You know, anything that is tranquil boots is kind of what I think fits Rubick the best, right? Because you get everything now. And other stuff is usually like Force Staff. Force Staff, because Rubick has a lot of other supports or any other heroes that kind of, you know, lack mobility. This kind of fixes that. You know, you can't really jump or anything. There's no leap. There's not even a buffed movement speed in any of these spells. I mean, you can steal spells like that, right? But you don't want to steal mobility spell. You want to steal stuns, hexes, and stuff like that. High damage burst spells, you know, like Lion Salt and stuff. You don't want to really steal Mirana Sleep and be like, okay, now I'm fine. That's not ideal, right? Can be ideal if you're running away, of course. If they're chasing you, you quickly steal it and then leap away, then sure, you know, then that's fine. But usually you kind of wanted to fix that mobility somehow, right? And it's not a big item. It's not really hard to farm. It's not that pricey. You know, bunch of small items to start them off. Of course, they still cost a lot of money, but you know, Otherlands goes really well. Force Staff, you know, a bit of mobility. You can also save allies with it. If anybody's running away, you can use it on them. But yeah, Glimmer Cape is also there. It's kind of the usual triple pack, right? Ether Lens, Glimmer Cape, 4-step. Glimmer Cape to hide yourself, hide allies. Don't have to sacrifice. Where does I have ally? You don't have to sacrifice swine and they'll be like, okay, I'm gonna die. You can do it like this and push yourself out, or give it to them and for yourself. Glimmer Cape. You know, also the way you can use it aggressively. You can cast Glimmer Cape on anybody that's in the fight. That's not really running away, but it's about to take some spell damage. But you kind of want them to keep fighting, and it's kind of like a nice protection effect, right? It does not have to be used defensively at all. You can also cast it on somebody or yourself if you want to gank, if you just want to infiltrate area where they can't see. So you can just kind of walk into them and then, you know, decide you're gonna disable cast spells or do whatever you want. Heal spells. So the usual Glimmer Cape effects, right? Always great. Now, Rubick is one that usually goes for the blink. Of course, this is all a lot of money, right? We're still paying support. So, if there's money, there's nothing really that much that Rubick needs. Sure, Aeon Disc is fine. And stuff like this if you need. But kind of goes well with the whole team. You can also just blink anywhere and immediately open up on them. It could be it could be beneficial a lot depending what you steal. If you steal something big like Tide's ult, I just say like use the example of Tide's. If I steal Tide's ult, it's just better to play what he would play anyways, right? And that would be blink. So you can just blink into enemies and cast the ult. That's just example. Of course, that's not easy to get because he'll be spamming some other spells like Gush and stuff, right? Or for example, Shaker's ult. If I steal Shaker's ult, it's much better if I have blink, and you know, like stuff like that. You kind of become in a way what like Lion and Shadow Shaman do, and that is, you know, just blink and immediately disable them and do stuff, steal their spells, be there to cast the stun and stuff. Again, it's a lot of money, and I kind of prefer 4-step before that. With this, it's not a big of a problem. I would say it's kind of like a scuffed blink, but I mean, you can still use it to get in the where you want to get, right, and pull them out with this or do whatever you want. So. Blink, more like optional stuff, great if you can get it. I kind of like getting a bunch of smaller stuff, first at least. Still, I say it's a lot of money, depending how the game goes. You might get some kills with Rubick. It's not that impossible at all. This does a lot of damage, also jumps on all the targets it hits, and you know, depending what you steal, if you steal something big or, you know, stun that still does damage, you can still kill people with that. So it's not hard to get kills with Rubick at all, or to like set up the enemy to get killed. You know, it's pretty easy with Rubick, depending if you know how to steal. And that's kind of the main problem. How do you know what to steal? You know, let's say there's Ogre Magi playing. You kind of want to steal the stun and you want to steal the Bloodlust. Stun just as a stun effect, but Bloodlust is great if you can cast it on your carry. Especially if it's like a pure right click carry, maybe Faceless Void, maybe Troll Warlord, maybe, I don't know, maybe even cast it on like an offlaner like Legion Commander. Any of those, you know, the kind of really just like to right click and nothing else. Phantom Assassin as well, why not? Might be better to take Bloodlust and cast it on them, you know, especially carries that have like a inbuilt mobility like jumps and stuff. Blinks might be beneficial. So if you like playing against Ogre, that would be something you want to steal. Ignite is also nice, but I kind of prefer to steal either Stun or Bloodlust. But Ignite is also nice, right? Deals AoE damage in a sense, like it hits more than one hero. Or actually, no, it doesn't hit because you don't have multicast. Never mind that, it doesn't hit. The multicast cannot proc on you. It hits multiple targets, but not multiple in a sense of multicast. If you want to get the multicast, you will need to get Scepter. You know, Scepter is also like one of the, it can be really fun because now you can steal 2 spells and they get upgraded to the Scepter. So then you can do that stuff, but there's not really so many spells and so many situations where you can kind of steal them and be like, okay, this is upgraded to the Scepter version, this is amazing. Now it's not usually like that. But it's more about the second spell, just being able to steal the second spell, because this is 4 seconds cooldown. So you can steal one after 4 seconds, immediately steal another one, and then just unload all of them, right? Become like a mini invoker version in a sense. Because even, you know, invoker kind of invokes and has to wait for a small cooldown. Pretty much the same. You can just cast all of them, both of them that you steal, and immediately steal third one, and then after 4 seconds steal a fourth one. As long as you're alive and you have enough mana, you can just kind of keep going, right? So Scepter is a fun idea to get, but again, it kind of depends on the enemy team. If there's a lot of good stuff to steal, I would maybe go for something like Scepter earlier. You know, but again, it depends on my team, on the whole situation, if I really need these, but you kind of usually do need these anyways. You know, you do not have some unlimited crazy farm and kills. You're not a core after all, and it can be difficult, really difficult to get to the fun stuff, you know. Yeah, it would be ideal to play like this, where you have like everything and you can just steal the spells, stay back and just spam everything. You know, because of the cast range of this in Netherlands, nobody can even get anywhere close to you. You know, if it's just like say like Gush or stuff, you know. Let's see. Well, I have Scepter now, so without Scepter you can see the cast range for Gush. I can really just stay behind and spam the stuff, you know. Don't really have to get involved at all and just not care. But yeah, that's kind of what Scepter does. Where's the other guy? This guy. So, you know, if there's guys like this, there's a huge potential. I can steal Gush, I can steal Fissure. Gush gets upgraded because of the Scepter, becomes a well, not that this one becomes AoE, right? The usual stuff from Tides. But yeah, it will have to depend a lot on what the other side is, right, with the heroes. But yeah, other than that, Aeon Disc, not so priced to make, only 3k. It's not only, of course, but kind of in the sense of smaller items. Just another item that gives you extra health, mana, and kind of gives you those extra couple of seconds, 2.5, and somebody ganks you or does anything, you kind of have enough time to think. Maybe you can steal something for them and recast on them, maybe like a Hex or Stun with some big AoE. You know, maybe you can get away with Telekinesis or use Force Step or Glimmer Cape on yourself, just depends. But this is kind of the safe way. However you want to mix these are kind of the safe items that you can never go wrong, and usually do not prompt your teammates to report you, right, because you are making the right stuff. And you know, if you want to go for the fun stuff, that's kind of riskier, but you know, yeah, that's kind of how it goes. So on Disc, Go Scepter if there's any nasty right clicker, you know, the usual stuff like Ursa or the people that can just one shot you on right click, maybe even Legion Commander Faceless Void. If you feel like they can jump on you, you can press this. That's gonna take some practice though, and the game sense, if you kind of get the feeling, because you know, especially Legion Commander, they do kind of love to jump on smaller supports and immediately delete them and make the fight immediately 4v5. So, you know, heroes like that like to jump in, and like I said, Ursa as well, they just like to jump in there. They play Blink, jump in there with the Overpower and the passive, and kind of just one-shots you, right? Especially with the Basher, you might even get the chance to really do anything. So any combo like these can work. You know, Scepter again, a lot of money and really risky. Other Scepter, the Yule Scepter. Now, this one is the usual stuff. Another disabling tool. You do have something that interrupts any channeling spell, Telekinesis, but if something happens to this, it's on cooldown or whatever, there's always Yule. You know, Witch Doctor, Crystal Maiden, those channeling types of heroes, Enigma, because you'll always be able to reach anybody now. Look at the cast range for items, right? This also increases it for items, so you can reach a lot with this Scepter. You do not have to get close at all. Just look at the cast range. It's really far, right? So that if you get silenced, it breaks the silence and it debuffs on you. When you go down, the debuffs are gone. You know, if there's a flying stun towards you like Sven or Chaos Knight, you can just go up and stuns are gonna miss you. Once you come down, you can, you know, use the Force, Glimmer Cape, use this on them, or you know, just steal their stuns and stun them back, and maybe your team jumps them in and you can kind of destroy them all, you know. Cast the stun, maybe this is like 4 seconds. steal some other stuff. Maybe there's another hero with stun or hex, and then steal that, recast it. Yeah, it just gives you kind of extra options. Of course, this all is like a full inventory, but I'm just kind of going through options. However you kind of see fit. Do you need Glimmer Cape? Do you need Force Staff? Etherlands kind of you do need always, I would say, and Force Staff is kind of always needed. One just kind of buffs the whole range, and the other one deals with the mobility. So I kind of need, if you're going into items, you have money, of course, that you can buy, kind of necessity to get these, and then you whatever the next luxurious item is. If it's Glimmer Cape, if you want to go Blink, if you want to go Yule Scepter, or just steal 2 spells and just spam, become like Invoker type of hero. And Disc, if there's a lot of problems with unexpected ganks and you feel like you might die before you get the full value out of your spells. And of course the Ghost Scepter, if there's any nasty right click heroes that can jump on you with the blink and immediately kill you. Just another way, right? This also goes into Ethereal Blade, so you can cast it on enemy heroes, cast on allies. Etherlands, of course, you'll probably never get there, but that can be turned into Octane Core, and that reduces the cooldown on everything. If you take this, that's a huge cooldown reduction on the stolen spells, at least 25% on your basic spells, and then like 50%, or I don't know how much they stack. Never really bothered to check this much, but it is an improved cooldown even further, right? But there's usually not time for you anyways to just dump 3K, I think it's 3K, so 3 point something K to finish the Octane Core. It's not that special, but for Rubick it can be that special. So again, another interesting option, right? Now, Shard pretty much just allows you to use the telekinesis on your allies, on yourself. I think it's 0.5. Yeah, the delay is only 0.5 when you cast on allies. I never really found any use too much out of the Shard. I guess if they're somehow permanently disabled, I can kind of lift them and throw them away. But it kind of looks really wonky, and it's not that practical at all. It's kind of really weird. And also casting it on myself, it's kind of weird. I don't know. I just skip the Shard usually. There's no money anyways. There's no money anyways for me to dump into something like this. It's kind of ridiculous. So that's kind of it with the whole items and stuff. Instant cast with Ult, like I said. Where's the one? Always keep this in mind. You immediately cast a spell. There's no delays. As soon as you just click on it, it's already out. So yeah, there's that. And let's take a look at that talent tree, because I think this is pretty much done there. So I just take telekinesis, landing damage, fateful damage reduction. It's fine as it is. 35% damage reduction to 45. I mean, they'll probably have something like Blacking Bar to press that and cancel the secondary effect anyways. This is just mostly for damage always. Why not add some damage into this one as well? Kind of spread out your possibilities. So both of them deal some sort of damage. It can be a lot because there's spell amplification in this, and there's spells that you can steal, so even more value because of that. Second one, obviously, there's only one option, that is 25% cooldown for any spells you steal. You cannot miss a free Octane Core effect that they're basically giving you for free. Anything you steal, 25% cooldown. It doesn't say really. Several minutes, or until it dies, and they do not say how much. I never really measured. It just says several minutes, but you can see when I sold the fusion and kind of casted it, it goes pretty slow. I think it's maybe like 3 minutes or something. That's how it was. 2 or 3 minutes, I think that's how it was. So 25% reduction on the whole duration. You can see it goes a lot, takes a lot of time. I mean, it goes away if you die, you lose the spell. But if not, you can see how slow it goes to lose the spell. So of course, always this. Third one, I would say telekinesis, land distance. This mostly because try to get the easier kills. the further I can transfer any enemy into my territory, so I lift them, you know, further the distance that I can kind of push them back towards us, the better, easier to get the kill. Fade Bolt cooldown is, well, it's without this. It's 10 seconds. It goes to what, 6 seconds. I mean, the spell becomes a lot of spammier, but again, it kind of depends. I kind of like the distance more, so I can, you know, kind of the same way like Outworld Destroyer does, kind of separate one hero from the herd. You know, I can just, especially if I have Blink, I can just kind of get there, pull the guy up, and quickly return him back as far as I can. And that might be just beneficial then to trying to get the cooldown so you can spam this. Again, it depends on the enemy team, I can't really say, but I usually like this, right? And last one, again, you can take a huge cooldown for this, goes to 10 seconds. It's still a lot. It's not a lot, but it's still kind of a lot, 10 seconds. Works much better, let's say, if you took this, then it's much more bigger potential. You know, if you combo them like this. The left one depends what spells they have with their team. If I'm stealing mostly disables and not spells that are like pure damage and stuff like that, there's no reason for me to take the spell M for stolen spells. It doesn't do anything if it's not, you know, strictly some high damage spells, so you can buff them even further. Usually you do kind of want to just steal disables at the most. If there's a hex, I want to steal the hex. There's nothing really else, or like a stun with damage. But that's kind of the stuff that you want to steal, or like I said, Bloodlust or big ults. But usually you want to go for stun or hex to combo it with this, to have like a double stun and then some burst. And yeah, so, and you know, those don't really go for a high damage value, so might be just better to take that instead, the right side, right? Again, depends on the enemy team, and you can decide, you know, what the type of their spells are. Game needs to last long, of course, for you to reach 25. Might end much earlier than this, right? So you might never even get to see it. But yeah, so stuff like that, you know, fun stuff that you can do. Just kind of be careful. Rubick is kind of it can be kind of really complicated, because in a fight, you have really to, you kind of pay attention who casted what, and what you have to steal at the moment, you know. Maybe Tides casts Gush, but that's not the perfect spell I want to steal. Maybe I just want to take something that's like immediate stun. Let's say they got Earthshaker. You know, might be just better to steal something like Fissure, where the spell can also trap anybody that's trying to escape, you know, like this, kind of block him off, and then they can go there. It's really tough. You know, the skill ceiling can be pretty high. You have to decide in the moment, and you know, you have to look at all the 5 enemy heroes and see who casted what, and then what are you gonna steal from all of that to just immediately get the benefits from your team, you know. So you can just see Tides, he casts Gush, that's all great and stuff, but you know, in this case I would try to steal Fissure, because it's done. It's also like a you know, like a way you can build a small cage and force somebody to go a certain way, maybe towards you, and then block them off. So yeah, stuff like that as well. And yeah, that's kind of how you go with Rubick. It can be really fun, but it can be kind of, again, your whole fun is kind of dictated by the enemy team. If they have fun stuff and fun heroes, you can steal a lot of fun spells and have a lot of fun yourself. Especially if you get something like Blink, you just keep spamming stuff, running away. If there's Scepter as well, you can steal 2 of those fun spells. Maybe you've seen Stun and Hex, you just run around disabling people and nobody can catch you, and you get all the kills for your team and stuff. But again, it's a big if and always like that with Rubick, right? So that'd be kind of Rubick for now, what I have to say about him, and I'll see you guys on the next one.